Yes, somebody please explain this to me. I don't understand for the life of me why this great guy Narayana Murthy's stupid 996 post is trending on LinkedIn. I mean, what is that we specifically like about that burnout culture? Don't you guys understand already? Are these people who are living to work are not tired? When will you raise the voice? When will you stand against this stupid culture? If a pie is baked with the help of people, the owner of the pie has to be generous enough to reward them who actually worked in the engine room. This is not the way. He can call for 996 or on 1812. It doesn't matter to him. There are people who came from a certain lack in life. Please don't look at his position or company as some sort of achievement. This is not achievement. I like Sudha Murthy very much. I'm personally a very big fan of Sudha Murthy for the kind of work that they've done. But still, there is one thing that I oppose. She openly and probably unconsciously announced that she and her husband Narayana Murthy hardly get any time. For many years they haven't seen each other. What the? She said this probably on Kapil Sharma's show or something. I mean, imagine, man, is this the culture? Why are you working? Why are you collecting wealth? Why are you becoming rich and richer? What are you going to do with all that money? If you cannot spend quality time with your family and your friends, what is the worth of your life? Yes, we need to build India, and we are building India. It will take time. But whether you build it tomorrow or after 1 year, it doesn't make much of a difference unless we create value relationships, unless we create friends, a friendly society where people talk to people. Have you seen these cities? Have you seen entire India? Strangers don't talk to strangers. We are all living in our own cocoon, limiting ourselves with this great monotonous life that we have designed. Before making this video, I actually Googled. I asked Google, what are the contributions of Infosys to India? And it doesn't say anything much, just creation of jobs. Come on. There are Ambanis, Adanis, Tatas creating jobs just as much, any big company creates jobs. That is not something that's a great achievement for a country. Initially, yes, when you are in the basics, when bread and butter matters to you, that's when you can appreciate that thing. But then in this era, when people are sitting in their dorm rooms in the universities, probably having beer having fun with their girlfriend, they code, they invent things. Where our PhD level people go, who are very cultured, who are sanskari people, who never did a wrong thing in their life, they go to those people who eat beef, who consume alcohol, who are sexually extremely active, to work for them. Seva. I'm not against, I'm not for or against, someone's eating habit or drinking habit. I'm just saying, they see these contradictions, Whatever, it's good. Narayana Murthy came up with something. He did a lot of outsourcing services and all that. But is there any invention? Anything from those brains that has come, that is outstanding somewhere, that we can say this is Indian invention on which the world depends? Look around you. Look at the electricity. Look at the big building that you're sitting in. Look at the glass. Look at each and everything. Look at all the gadgets, all the locomotives, everything that is carrying and doing things. Everything is invented by a non-Indian. I know, being an ex-IT and a present yoga teacher, I know how much our ancestors have actually invented, but that's like, thousands of years old. We don't have any credibility. We don't have any standpoint on which we can claim anything. Whoever took inspiration from those texts, be it Westerners, be it someone else, but they did create something, It is not about the concept. It is making the invisible tangible is the whole game. What have we invented? Forget hardware, forget hard things. Software, something like Facebook. No, we don't even have our own. What is happening really? Why are we trending this post? You should have just ignored this post and behave like nothing happened. You are giving them some limelight, and they go on doing these atrocities. I'm sick and tired of these IITs and IIMs, which are good for nothing. We have not invented unless we invent. There's no difference between an IIT grad and some government engineering college grad where I have my friends. There's just no difference. In fact, in many companies, people who are at the senior levels are not really coming from Harvard's. You look at the data. Look, I'll give you 3 points, okay, on which you can consider what's going to happen next, okay. All your present day computing is going to go away when quantum computing comes in full power. Number 2, all your laptops, mobile phones and watches are going to go away when screen in the air is invented. It's going to come soon, just like in one of those cyborg movies. She does this and then the screen opens and there is personal communication, only she can hear. This is going to happen, okay? We have come so far and don't doubt we can go that far, right? Third, say, just like the Iron Dome, if there is an iron screen, again tomorrow some guy, sitting in one of his university dome rooms, having a beer, having fun with his friends, comes up with some sort of a coding, some sort of hardware that can put one line in the sky where all your planes are stopped. It cannot enter, it cannot break that. What are you gonna do? Your billions and billions of dollars of investment in buying a fleet of planes just goes useless in just one night, because all invention happens overnight. Yes, there is years of work behind it, but when it comes, it's gonna come in like an hour's time. What are we gonna do? Invention is the only way. Invention is the only way. Working, becoming CEOs of top companies around the world. They're not fools, man. There are great brains in America. There are great brains in UK. There are great brains in many parts of the country. They are picking up Indians specifically for a reason, because they want this market. It's that simple. There are many hundreds of Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadellas out there, available in the market. But they are picking up Indian brains only because of one thing, that they want this connection to Indian market. That's all, right? And being a worker, nevertheless, you can be a special working ant, but that's not gonna, define anything, my friends. We are just building ant colonies, working ants, This is not gonna build a country, even if you work 18 hours, 20 hours. And those people specifically who are preaching you this, especially this guy Murthy, oh my God. I'm ashamed that I have his last name. I mean my official name. But these guys come from a lack, certain lack. A leader teaches how to fulfill, how to find meaning in your life, how to create, work smart, not work hard. Those who are living their lives are the people who have worked smart, not hard. Mark Zuckerberg is not sitting and doing 18 hours of shift, whatever. I'm just taking a random example. I don't know his, lifestyle or whatever he does with his time. If he is working anything more than 4 hours, then it's useless. It's the waste of his wealth. That's what I would say. I'm not saying you just become useless. I'm saying, see, take it this way. 10 hours of thinking is workday. Somewhere I read, in an office, there was this guy who sat looking into the oblivion all the time, many hours, 6 to 7 hours. So someone objected, saying that you don't work. And the boss comes in and says, you don't disturb that guy. He is at work. He's thinking. He's going through a lot of strategies. And then he uses probably a few minutes to jot down something and then goes through his, way of, it's his style of working. You understand? What comes out finally and how efficient that is, that matters. It's not like, you work like a cow, 18 hours, 20 hours, 24 hours. Nothing's gonna happen. It becomes a factory. That's not what we want. 1 billion bodies and just a few brains. Isn't that a shameful thing? Is this what we want to be? Come on, man. We have to build a smarter India, not work ant India, And to my surprise, this is the same guy about 2 or 3 or 5 years ago. In a newspaper, I saw his statement that India has not invented anything groundbreaking. Come on, Mr. Murthy, your guys, your brain, should have done that. He comes from a background of lack. First of all, he takes a loan from his girlfriend or wife at the time, whatever. Which at that time, I don't mind. I support equal rights. I've also taken loans from women. I don't care about that at all. But at his time, at her time, This was an insult if a man approached a woman for financial help. And he did it. And this is all a luck, look at the way he looks, his external appearance in terms of health, in terms of, sculpting his body or something, brain, forget it, it's just a working ant, nothing, no invention, nothing smart has come from his company. I don't want to take the name of that company. You all know it. But I don't see a point in here, man, when both husband and wife are happy not meeting each other, not being able to spend so much time, that means there is no love, there's no romance, there's nothing happening in their life. It's just eat and defecate, just like anybody else. Probably you eat in a golden plate. You drink water in a silver glass. I don't care. But what's the worth of your life? Trust me. You've got to, like they say, if you left the world more beautiful, more livable for the next generation than you found it, then you have done something worth of it, isn't it? That's how we need to see this. We are looking to build the next society before we die or after we die. It should look like a friendly place, full of conversations, sharing, caring, whatever we have, whatever we will not have, countries will go through this rise and fall all the time. It is not the first time India has, lost or won. Many countries, you read through the history, entire history is filled with rise and fall. This is a cycle that's going to happen any which way. Okay, we can become golden, but what are you going to do with that gold? At the chai time, you cannot use gold biscuit to eat, dip and eat. You need marigold only. Okay, let's focus on that. Good food, good health, good loving culture, friendly environment, humanity. If you found those leaders that are teaching, unfortunately we don't hear from business leaders these kind of words, you need to trend them, ignore this guy, please, for God's sake.